ask myself the question, is the sport of motocross and supercross becoming soft? Well, we are going to find out in this week's breakdown, going over the takeout moves, or should I say block passes, between some of the top riders. First off, after what Deegan said on the podium, he ended up apologizing. I want to apologize for what I said on my recent interview. I take full responsibility. It was wrong. To everyone who supports me, I don't take your support for granted. I'm learning, growing, and doing better moving forward. Thank you for holding me accountable. Such a business savvy PR response. It's where you stay in the middle. You're not pissing people off, or if you piss people off, you apologize afterwards. I don't necessarily think this is coming straight from him, but it is a strategic PR, public relations incident here. This is what he said.
And they got to deal with it. If you don't like it, you can suck it. Honestly, hey, we the champ now, and let's go, baby.
And I was there, and there was so much booing going on and the cheering as well. So it made the race exciting. But let's first go over a few things, okay? This is the one that everyone is going through. I've seen Zach Osborne post it and so many other people. This was the Vegas final. This is where Zach Osborne won his title, and he comes in and cleans out Joey. I will say that the stand was euphoric. Everyone, including me. I was recovering from my major injury, and so I had to get up on my crutches, and I was like, yeah, go Zach. But there is some key differences in this. This was A, Vegas. B, this was the final race. B, we knew the championship was on the line. The whole race, everybody knew that Zach had to beat Joey, and he was on the ground, number 4 at the start of the race. So him catching up and then cleaning him out on the last lap, that's the 5th thing. It was such a perfect scenario where what happened with Cole and Deegan was different. Because if we watch what happened in qualifying, okay, truthfully here, Deegan has the line, okay? Cole, whether they're both on fast laps or anything, he can see him. Right? But instead he dives in as well. And maybe is this thinking, hey, this is the practice test track. We're teammates. We're not going to get rough. Well, Deegan was showing that, hey, if push comes to shove, I'm going to shove. And truthfully there, I would say Cole somewhat should have just gave the line to Deegan. And in the Supercross main event, we have this happen. Boop. And wasn't bad, okay? Being there, it seemed potentially worse than it actually was. But looking back at it, it was a small little love tap, okay? And Deegan didn't want to take him out. At least that's my perception of it. Talking with him at the press conference, that was just a small little boop, tap, and you exploded, Cole. Cole, truthfully, if he would have won this race and then potentially gone on to win the championship, per the rules, he would have been only able to defend the championship for one more year. So that means by the time he is 18 years old, he'd be in the 450 class and would have to move up, I would think, too soon. Okay, Deegan, I think he can defend this championship maybe one more year in Supercross, and then by outdoors, he has to be on a 450. We'll see if he moves up early, but that's semantics. I'm somewhat digressing here. If we look at this, this was just meant to beat him. All it was. It was just a simple stuff, and it was, hey, I'm getting a larger points lead going into the finale. It just so happened that Cole ended off the track and ended up, I think, 5th place. So he won the championship. So it was honestly good luck for Deegan. But you could see how it was somewhat perceived as potential bullying, right? And that's why I'm saying this whole softness, right? Because bullying is wrong. And we have so much of it on social media and everything nowadays. And it's because of the dynamic that happened in qualifying as well. And if you follow my channel, I've been saying for a few weeks that Deegan has to get rough with Cole. He's got to push him out of the way because Cole is a smoother, faster rider at times. And yeah, there is some pushback with that as well. Deegan is able to push further, and I think Cole has made Deegan a better rider, has made Deegan dig more than what he has in the past. And if we look at this pass between Sexton and Cooper Webb for the lead, this was a much larger takeout than it was between these two right here. That was a simple tap, and he ended up going over the berm. Cole should have had covered the line, but this one right here, boom, that was a straight up T-bone. But this is between two grown men, one guy that I believe is around 175 pounds, and another guy that's around 175 pounds. He's just a few inches shorter. These guys are built. When it comes to Deegan-Davies, I asked Deegan how much he weighs, and he's 5'7", 165 pounds. And Cole, looking up to him and, you know, being in his pits for a little while, he's small. I would say he's maybe 140, maybe 140. So very easy to explode him. And that's what it was. And if we look back at some of the things that I shared, it was interesting. Cole was obviously devastated about this. And it might be a blessing in disguise because, again, if he wins a championship, he'd have to go to 450s possibly too soon. This guy is a problem for the 250 class, plain and simple. His best days are ahead of him as long as he learns from these small mistakes. And this guy is, again, the rider to beat. He is the up and coming. And Deegan sort of put him in his place saying, hey, you're not ready to take over my throne, basically. And that's what he said on the podium, which I thought was interesting that he had to apologize for it, but we've gone over that. I also found it interesting that most of the 450 riders came up to Cole to just tell him, hey, dude, your day is coming. Like, just keep going. Just keep doing it. You've won so many races already, whatever. I didn't really see many 450 guys congratulate Deegan, which I think is also an interesting dynamic. But overall, this move was not dirty, and it was not meant to take him out. It was not meant to win the championship. And that's what I think people are missing about this. The dynamic between this is everybody knew what was on the line. In this one, everybody knew Deegan was going to win the championship with the points lead he had with one round to go. So it was like, did he need to take him out? He didn't mean to take him out. And if you listen to what I told him on the podium, if what I asked, it was a harsh question to ask, but I was impressed with how he handled himself. Again, the dude has been experienced with dealing with media and just the press in general. And this was a very good answer that honestly earned some respect for me. So let's listen to it.
Filtered. Deegan, the elephant in the room is, do you like to win that way? And we know that Cole Davies had a 2-win streak going on, and it looked like he potentially could have gotten a third one, and the championship was getting tighter. So do you mind explaining? Because on the podium, there's a lot of guys that were booing, and then they were cheering. There's just a lot of confusion.
Yeah, as much as I'm friends with Cole and stuff, when it's race time and this is 500 grand, this is a new Lambo, you know, so it's like I got a lot on the line for it, for myself, and it's just 2 laps to go if you want to win, and that's what I was raised to do, is win on a dirt bike, and I'm going to take the shot if it was there. And he left the door open. It wasn't, if you really watch it back, it wasn't like a horrible dirty move. I just kind of tapped him and he went over the berm, and well, unfortunately it looked like he got stuck. I was like, there's no way he's stuck. I'm like, I'm going to win the championship right now. It's kind of crazy to me. Obviously it's not the way you want to win it, but it's racing, that's how it goes, and definitely will do anything to win.
So from there, the transparency is awesome. Okay, it's cool to see the drama, and then just honestly, the sheer honesty. It was for 500 grand. I've been raised to win. If there was a shot, I'm gonna take it. That is all very honorable to say. And so I felt, hey, let me ask the question and let's see what he says. And I am not pleasantly surprised, but I'm still surprised at the transparency that he was able to give. It was well thought out. The answer was good, and you can't argue with it, because truthfully, at the end of the day, if anybody was offered 500 grand to tap their teammate, yeah, I'm pretty sure people would feel bad if they didn't do just that. And when I asked Sexton somewhat the same question about, hey, are we going to see some rough riding for arguably 4 times as much money? I would say $1 to $2 million for the championship. And Sexton said that, no, this is as aggressive as I'm going to get. But what I find interesting is at the end of the day, Deegan then coming out and apologizing to his fans for saying, honestly, something.
Mad that I'm him and they got to deal with it. If you don't like it, you can suck it, honestly. Hey, we the champ now, and let's go, baby.
See, what was funny is everybody was booing him until he said that everybody was cheering. So it's interesting. So in overview, is the sport of motocross becoming soft? Well, honestly, I think as a society, we are growing a little soft, and racing is a professional sport. Okay, this isn't amateur racing anymore. And so Cole, I believe, learned a lesson that, hey, there's big money on the table. So cover your line, especially in motocross. We will see what happens in Salt Lake City and outdoors, what is going to happen. But I believe Cole is not going to have a chip on his shoulder because he shouldn't, right? He more than likely will possibly win Salt Lake City, but he is going to cover his line when he's racing with Deegan. It was a good lesson to learn amongst teammates. At first, it looks, like I said, it appeared more so of bullying between teammates, but after everything has settled, it's more of a just, hey, this is a one-person sport. I'm going to win the championship. I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. And it wasn't that bad. Truthfully, it was worse for the 450 guys. That was a much gnarlier pass between Sexton and Webb. And I commend Cole for coming out and saying it how it is. Man, I really wanted to win tonight, but at the end of the day, I shouldn't have put myself in that position, because what happened in qualifying was exactly what happened in the main event. He had a glimpse of the future, but he didn't cover the line. So this is Johnny Hopper, and make sure you hit that subscribe notification icon and let me know what you think in the comments down below.